Hey, it's Ron here. Back in December, I started attempting to date again and was wanting to do some blogging or videoing and share my journey. And I haven't done it, so after last night's date, that one bothered me. I'll be honest with you. I'm still human. I have an ego, and part of this process is for myself. Part of it is for anyone that needs it, for entertainment. Maybe something you'll hear and it'll help you. I want to start off by saying there are no right or wrongs. I'm not blaming anybody for anything. This is a learning process for me. We all are here on our own journey. I just want to share with you, a lot of you that know me, I'm into the law of attraction. I think we're all responsible for our own actions. The God is within us, and ask and ye shall receive, and that's what happens, and that's what I look for. And people, there's a saying that things happen for a reason. People come into your life for a reason, and So I'm trying to prove or disprove, or find out, if someone comes into my life, what's that reason? What am I supposed to get out of it? And I try to decide rather quickly, nothing or something. Get it, and then move on. So a lot of people are going through this dating experience. I see a lot of trouble with relationships. I don't want to share my experiences anyway. So I'm going to go straight into it. This is the fourth date. So after this video, I'm going to back up to the beginning and then go over my other dates, because they weren't as informative to me as this one last night. And I'm not sure how to explain it Quentin Tarantino style backwards, because hindsight, I can look and see where my mistakes were and see what I learned. I will tell you, I met her on Match. I sent her. Match gives you an option to send a generic message, and a lot of times that's what I send. I just send it and see what happens. Well, she responded. She said, "I read your profile. You look like you're deep and adventurous. We should meet for a drink." I'll tell you right there, in retrospect, meeting for a drink should have been my first sign. The first one actually should have been where one of the things she likes to do is partying with her friends. But anyway, so I said, okay, sounds good. I said, this whole experience for me is part of it selfish. What can I get out of it? So if I'm going to go meet someone, I want to do something. And so I told her, she lives in Tarpon Springs. And she lives in Newport Richey. I said, let's meet at the Sponge Docks. I've never been there. I'd like to go check it out. Okay, sounds good. So we couldn't meet that last weekend, so it was set for this weekend. So it gets a little bit closer. She asked me. She sends me a text. I sent her my number, and we started texting. She says, "So what do you want to do?" And I'm like, okay. I had said the Sponge Docks, but apparently, she didn't want that. But she said, well, it's St. Patrick's Day. We might have trouble getting into a bar or a restaurant. I'm like, I didn't say anything about a bar. I said, that's why I suggested the Sponge Docks, because I figured it'd be quiet. I've never been there. And I told her I've never been there. So we finally meet. We go down there. We meet. And she goes, so where is it that you were wanting to go? Well, for those of you that aren't familiar, the Sponge Docks is, which I never actually saw, it's like a little Greek town. It's a cute little quaint town. It's one street. There's a bunch of shops and restaurants. And apparently there's a dock somewhere where they sell sponges that you get out of the ocean. So, I just figured, first date, you're meeting somebody, let's walk around, let's talk, let's get to know each other. So we start walking, and while I'm there's so much to the story, that's why I didn't want to type it. I texted her. I got there before she did. I told her where the parking lot was, where I was, and I was standing out front. I had nice black pants on, a green shirt, and she said she thought I worked there. I said, okay. Well, she didn't have a credit card. The pay machine only took credit cards. I paid for her parking. No big deal. So we start walking, and like I said, she asked, where is it you were wanting to go? And so at this point, I'm like, okay, I don't get this, because let me back up a little bit. She tried to talk the parking lot into free parking. and not just ask once, several times. So that's a scarcity mindset. So anyway, there was a couple of signs there. So we start walking, and I told her, I said, I've never been here before. I don't know what to expect. I Googled it. It's hard to tell what you get when you Google something. And then she tells me she's been there several times. She starts telling me about all the restaurants, and I'm like, okay. So she really wanted a drink. So we walk into one place. It was really empty, really small bar. She's like, is that it for the bar? And she's not, that's too small. I'm like, okay. So, at this point, it's on her because she's wanting a drink. I just wanted to walk around. So we start walking down to the end, and she goes, well, the place down at the end is usually always too busy. It's a long wait. I'm like, okay, so you know this place. And so we go back, and we find another place. We go in, we sit down. And, at this point, I really don't know what to say because it's like what I've been saying, she hasn't been listening because, it was kind of obvious. And just before that, I told her because we were texting. I had gone fishing with my little brother that day, and there was a fair behind us. So I took a picture of the fair, and I sent it to her, and I said, maybe we could go to the fair. So while we were walking down there at the Sponge Docks, I said, I was with, I'm with big brothers and big sisters. I was with my little brother fishing today, and there was a fair. That's what I took a picture of, and that's, I thought this was the time that there were fairs going on. And I said, so how was your day? So she tells me sometimes she works on Saturdays, but she didn't this day, blah, blah, blah. And then she looks at me and she goes, so what'd you do today? So at this point, I think I'm in the twilight zone. So I'm like, whatever, I'm just going to go with it. I really wanted to leave at that point, but, I go into it with an open mind. So we go to the bar, and for those of you that know me, I'm not much of a drinker. I've had my issues with drinking in the past. I drink if I want to. I'll sit down and have a shot with you and have some beers at home, but I'm not a social drinker. I don't feel it necessary to have a drink when I go out. And I've learned over the years, I used to do things to please other people, and I don't do that anymore. So we sit down and at the bar, and I said, I'll just have a water. Her eyes got like this big. So she ordered her drink, and that's when the switch kind of flipped. She said, well, you're kind of quiet. And deep down, I'm an introvert. I used to be an introvert, really not anymore. And I've decided I'm not going to use that as an excuse to play it off. I was quiet because she wasn't freaking listening, and I wasn't interested anymore. So at that point, she looks at me and she says, do you suffer from PTSD? And I'm like, no, I really don't know what that looks like, or I know what it is, but I've never experienced it, and I don't know anybody that has. Well, I know somebody that didn't. You've got that look. Like, okay. So we continue with the conversation, and there was a lot of analytical stuff in there from her. She was telling me how sexy it is for a man to be strong and forceful and, humble has its place. But so I didn't take it personally. I don't know if she was trying to say that was me, or because I am a soft-spoken person. I'm a lover, not a fighter, but I will fight you over my lover. So I don't feel the point to, I don't feel it necessary to explain myself to people. So anyway, she goes on to start explaining to me how bad alcohol is, and she normally doesn't drink. She might have one or two, and more than two, then she can't get up. She used to party, but doesn't party anymore. She knows people that have had trouble with alcohol, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm sitting there thinking, why are you telling me all this? I'm having water. I have my feelings on alcohol. You apparently like it. You're drinking it. So in retrospect, she felt guilty for drinking. So like I said, she said she likes to party on her website, on her profile. She offered to go have a drink, which I've never really cared for that. And now going forward, I've learned that if their idea of going on a first date is meeting at a bar to have a drink, I used to go to bars to meet people. Don't do that anymore. So why would I do that now? I've gone past that. If you want to, that's fine. If that's what people want to do, hey, that's great. People like to drink and they want to meet somebody else that drinks. I don't have a problem with that. I'm not judgmental. I don't. Well, we're all judgmental. We judge people because we do, but I don't pass judgment. I don't. I mean, she could be a great person and whatever. Just that made her feel uncomfortable because I was drinking water. So. Again, in retrospect, the fact that she likes to party, the fact that she was asking me to meet for a drink, and then it became very clear that it just seemed like her total mission was to go find a drink. And then her excuse to get out of there, which was great, I was happy that she did it, was, and the bar was fairly empty. There were only 2 other people. There were like 4 empty seats at the bar, so we weren't taking up any space. She said, I'm going to sit here and take up space for the bartender drinking water. She goes, but I'm not going to have anything else to drink either because I've got to drive home. And I'm like, okay, yeah. If I would have had a drink, she would have sat there and drank several of them, I'm sure. So she was more concerned about the bartender's well-being than about me, which was fine, or it was her excuse to leave. So I gave the guy $5 for the water. No big deal to me. I would rather give him $5 and let it go straight in his pocket and drink water than to drink something that I didn't want and just have to give him a tip. So it was a learning experience. Again, I have nothing against the lady. I was more than happy to pay. It would cost me a total of $10 for the parking, $5 for the water, and an hour drive. So a couple hours out of my evening. But to learn that and to solidify that for me for going forward, for what I'm looking for, because in the past I have had somebody I put on my profile that I don't drink, which isn't absolutely true. It's not like I don't ever drink. But she, after a couple of emails, she goes, "Oh, I noticed that you don't drink. I want somebody that drinks." I was grateful that she was forthcoming with that. There's times that I'll go a whole week and have a glass of wine a night or have a shot of tequila before I go to bed. So it's something that don't pass judgment on people. For one thing, if you're in a dating situation, there's no way to analyze and get to know somebody within 30 minutes. There's so much. We're so much deeper than that, and how we define things. Like if somebody says I'm a social drinker. What does that mean? It means something different to me than it does to you. If it makes someone feel comfortable for me to have a drink in my hand and it just sits there and the water melts down, I prefer, if I'm going to have a drink, honestly, I would prefer a strawberry daiquiri or a pina colada, but I don't usually order those. But if I was going to order a drink, that's what I would have. So it was very enlightening, very entertaining. It would have been a different outcome, a couple of years ago. And the other thing I did learn that she was pretty on the website, and the fact that she was willing to meet me and she was pretty, that kind of made me overlook some of the things I probably should have, like meeting for a drink. Now, I also try to keep in mind that, again, meeting for a drink doesn't mean the same thing to everyone. But I think I can pretty say, at this point, in the situation that I'm in with the online dating, it's pretty safe to say that if someone wants to meet for a drink, is it fair to say that they're not for me? I don't know. But if that's your first choice, then there's probably other choices that I probably wouldn't agree with. I did read somebody, oddly enough, the very next day I read somebody's profile that she said that she hardly ever drinks, but she does drink on a first date because she's shy. Well, honestly, that's where my drinking problem came from when I was in high school. I'm a grown-ass man now, and I got over that. I'm like, if you're an adult and you can't handle a situation with another person without drinking, for me, that's a problem. You know, again, to each his own. There is no right or wrong in this process. That's what life is all about. We're all different. But for me, and for those of you that are in the dating process or thinking about it, I'm trying to just share this with you so maybe it'll help you in what you're looking for. I think over the past couple of years, I've read a lot of books, a lot of dating books, a lot of relationship books, marriage books, just to try to get ideas of what other people thought. And I openly listen to other people, even though I disagree with a lot of them. And I'll go into more detail, but I just wanted to share that date with you last night. That really, after thinking about it a little bit, I came away with this situation. Yes, she came into my life for a reason. There's some other dates that I'll share with you that I don't think they came into my life for a reason, but I may have come into their life for a reason. It's all about you. You attract people to you for whatever reason. If you're shy and you want to be more outgoing, then you'll attract outgoing people to you, and they'll try and pull you out, because that's asking you shall receive. That's how it works. That's what it means when opposites attract. And I'm an example of that. I used to always be attracted to very outgoing women. It was like, oh wow, because I wasn't. So I was like, that, man, I wish I could be like that. If I could be with someone like that, then that meant that I was a little more outgoing. And so the journey continues. Hopefully I'll keep this up. That's my plan. And if there's any questions, I mean, if you want to share your comments, I'm always open to it. I'm not going to get into a lot of debate. I'll share with you if you have any questions or concerns, but it's all about you. It's that's what life is. It's about growing. It's about learning. That's where the selfish part comes in. That's where it's okay to be selfish. It's okay to learn about yourself, learn about what you want, and expect it. I've learned over the years that I don't know what I don't know. So I've gotten into relationships, and after it was done, I was like, how did that happen? How did I overlook that stuff? And, I can see why. But the journey continues. I can't get it all in one video, but I'll see you on the next one.